Okay, you know. You know, there's a huge New Thought church in Southern California, the Agape Center. Michael Beckwith and what's his wife's name? Ricky Byers, yeah. And he had a model of visioning whenever they were beginning their ministry. And he'd get a group of people together like this that were interested in brainstorming and praying and visioning for what the community could be like. And they would sit in the silence for a half an hour and then talk. Well, maybe we'll do 5 minutes. Okay? But we come together with opinions, lots of background, lots of different things going on in our lives. And that adds a richness to the community. And each one of us has access to infinite love and wisdom. And it comes through us in our own unique ways. And so, having a community event to do planning and brainstorming and questioning is much better, much richer than a hierarchical organization with leaders at the top saying this is the way it's going to be. So this is a more horizontal group where we share things. And we, in this circle, in this more horizontal orientation, things can bubble up from beneath and can shower down from above. So let's begin by turning within. We've stepped within this building. So let's leave outside everything that's, well, you have a choice. You can bring it all in because this is a sacred space. This is a good place to bring in everything that's going on. Or if that might be a little distracting from our purpose here tonight, leave it outside. You can pick it up on the way out. But we've stepped into sacred space here. Unity of Bloomington, Center for Spiritual Growth. And we can settle here. And in the same way that we've stepped into this building and into this room, we can step into a quiet space within ourselves. A place where we can allow thoughts to come and go, to just be. And we listen, watch, and wait, because we've come to catch divine ideas, catch the possibility for this spiritual community. Tonight we're going to be talking about programs, relationships, management, and consciousness of this community. Consciousness, management, relationships, and programs. 4 essential elements for a spiritual community. So let's allow ourselves to arrive here completely, openly, and spend a few minutes in receptivity to the living spirit of infinite love and wisdom in quietness. Become aware of your breathing, of your hands and your feet and your face, and the chair and the floor and the room and the people around you. Open and receptive to God's living spirit. So it is. Amen. I had a board meeting last night, and mentioned this group as doing a lot of the work that the board had been doing in the past, discussing things, bringing opinions. So the board would discuss things and maybe get to the point of voting and making a decision. This is the discussion area here. So this is a very helpful for me and for the process that the board of, what do you call them, trustees or directors? Trustees. Is a trustee like a prisoner that's been around for a long time? I got off track there. Yeah. So, one of the things the board was talking about last night was board elections. And I said that I'd ask tonight, anybody interested in serving on the board or willing to serve on the board? You don't have to answer now, but consider that. That puts you right at the heart of this community. And it's a little different now than it's been, because the board had to run things for a while, and it was a big responsibility. Well, now that you have a minister and staff, operational decisions are left for the staff, and so the board just does more long-range planning. So, and I mentioned that the current bylaws of Unity of Bloomington would not fly past Unity Worldwide's scrutiny. They would say, we can't help you find a minister until your bylaws are in alignment with what we recommend. And so we're going to have to revise the bylaws. Okay, and I'm asking if anybody would be willing to read bylaws with me, be on a little bylaw committee. let me know if that idea comes up for you. Okay? So, one of the things in your current bylaws and in the recommended Unity worldwide bylaws for Unity churches is that membership has to be renewed every year. If you don't renew your membership, you lose it. Now, different, you might have, you can renew after 2 years. There's different provisions about how you can come back in. But in the traditional churches, once you join, you're a member forever. And I've been in some churches where some older members said, why did you drop me from the membership rolls? You know, I'm still a member. Well, you didn't send your form in. I'm still a member. Okay. So, you know why they do that? One church started doing that as a way of getting financial pledges every year. And so, in order to renew your membership, you sent in a renewal form along with your annual financial pledge. A lot of Unity churches don't like pledges. I think you've had a form where you could pledge anonymously here. Okay, so the other reason, there's one other reason for annual renewal is that a lot of times members that haven't been attending for a long time, whenever there's a question that comes up or a problem that comes up, people that haven't been involved come out of the woodwork to vote. And so they wanted to limit the right to vote at congregational meetings to people that are active, that are participating, that have been involved in the last year. So, what do you think about an annual renewal? What do you think about pledges?
I think we've done annual renewal. A note goes out if you're still interested in being a member or if you're releasing your membership.
Mm-hmm.
We've had forms go out like that yearly
Yeah, you've been doing it for a number of years.
on that level. And
Yeah.
we have had pledges over the years, and I think we got away from it more recently, the last couple of years. We haven't made the big push because of COVID, and we didn't have
Mhm.
attendance in the
Oops, I forgot. Yeah. Okay. Meredith, you said you've had pledges over the years. Maybe not recently, and you've been doing the annual renewal for a number of years. Does that make sense to you?
I think from the board perspective, those annual pledges are helpful. From the board,
Yeah.
from the board perspective, the annual pledges are helpful for planning.
For budgeting.
Yeah, for budgeting and determining, where we're going to allocate
Yep.
money. So I know that there are probably some members of our community that feel a lot of pressure when we come up, and a lot of things come up for them
Yep.
in terms of, making a commitment to that. But, it really isn't about what you're pledging. It really is about, well, if this is what we're going to have, then the board is going to plan accordingly and responsibly for those activities. And that's why I think the request for the annual, intentional giving
Yes.
is important for this community. And,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
On the annual renewal, I guess I'd like to ask the group, what are the, is there a downside? Or is there a negative repercussion to asking people to renew annually? I know that at different phases, we have had people who have left for a while, but they did want to have a voice about why they haven't been active. And so I think it's a little bit of a detriment to leave those voices out, because that's our blind spot. We don't know what we don't know. So on the other hand, I like the idea of a conscious and intentional recommitment, but I wonder about the timing. Does that have to be annual, or I think it's Mexico. They're instituting like marriage is a contract, and it has to be renewed like every 15 years or every 7 years, something like that. But so maybe not annually, but in some meaningful cycle of time, so that we can say, with my heart, with my mind, with my spirit, I am part of this community.
That's a good phrase, thank you. Oh, yeah. Any other comments? This is helpful for me. Okay, well, we will keep the annual renewal. There's a question about whether or not to, part of the annual renewal for me is to make the commitment to the community, to participate and to support it. And so, since I have to write up the form, I wanted a little bit of inspiration or information. Okay, what else is on my list? We'll talk about that later. Okay, I've got a little form, little survey kind of form for you to fill out. Okay, and I would like you to get into 3 groups of 4. Okay, you want to separate from the ones you came in with? Okay, there's.
We could count off
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? 1s, 2s, 3s. Okay? 1s over here, 3s over here, 2s wherever you want to be. You are the ones. Okay, think about a spiritual community as a car. It needs 4 wheels to really run well. It could work on 3, could work on 2, but it really needs 4. Okay, there's 4 wheels here, 4 different arenas for an effective spiritual community. We've been talking about relationships for a couple weeks. If a spiritual community is just based on relationships, it could become like a closed social club. Could be hard for newcomers to come in. Okay? That's if a spiritual community is just program driven, people come and go. They don't get connected. That's pretty much Unity's history. Okay? We've been program driven. People come in to learn the principles or the practices and then go out on their own. Okay? Consciousness is about how it feels when you walk in the door. What's the energy of the community? Okay? And of course, the community needs to be managed. Okay? So, what's good at Unity of Bloomington? These are a lot of different elements of a ministry. What needs attention right away? So you put a G or an N there. Just kind of go through yourself. A G for good, or an N for needs attention now. Okay? This is just for your own being. Pick a group that you want to join. Huh?
Even groups.
Yeah. Pick. This is your closest one. Okay.
All right. I'm just winded because I've been busy today.
Ah, well, I'm glad you made room for us today. Yeah. So, thinking about this, put a G or an if something's good, an N if something needs help, and or you leave it blank. You don't have to rate every one. So just pick the good ones and the ones that need help. And then you're going to decide as a little group which ones are most important.
I don't know what some of these mean.
Oh, ask me.
Heritage and culture, shadows, submerged beliefs, sacred cows.
Okay, any sacred cows hiding in the woodwork here at Unity of Bloomington? Any things that people don't want to talk about? That they say, oh, we don't want to talk about that. That's in the past.
So if we put a G there, it means that that's not a problem.
Yeah, okay.
It's functioning well, or if
Or you leave it
if
blank
there's
if
issues, then that's an N.
exactly, yeah,
So it's unresolved issues.
yeah.
And some can be blank, like you said. Right? And some blanks don't need a G or an N.
Yeah, you can leave them blank. Yeah. Some are NA, you know? Get my tally sheet. trying to keep it, I would say, financial situation's good.
Is the board, do you feel like the board's a good steward of funds?
Oh, I absolutely, I do.
On that type
I
of
guess
thing.
I'm going to vote for you on that. Well, I'm just going to, I need assistance, you know, I want to vote for you. Okay.
You're muted. You're muted.
Yes.
No, I don't know, I don't know.
Oh, see, there you go.
It's just not how you see it. Like, you don't see, I mean, you see something needs attention, and really, oh, there's a lot of attention to this thing. Then you get to know that, oh, there's nothing. So just come from where you are.
Just go through them quickly. First impressions. You see, there are a lot of different elements of us running a spiritual community. Well, you're going to talk about it and decide on the top ones in each category in your group. Yeah, so the next step is in your group, you decide the top 2 or 3 in each of those 4 areas.
What does the top mean, that need attention?
The best and the ones that need it, it's both. Okay, what's best and what needs attention. Okay, so last week when we met, classes and workshops and name tags came up really high on what needed to be done. So we got that. Classes and workshops and name tags. Okay, so in addition to that, and home study groups was the other one that had a high response. Home study groups, name tags, classes and workshops. We're on that. Okay? So what else is good or needs attention? So decide in your group the top 2 G's for each one, the top 2 N's for each one, or 3.
For each of the
2 or
4
3.
areas.
Huh?
For each of the 4 areas.
For each of the 4 areas, yeah. So,
All right.
so I guess you need somebody in your group to be a recorder and somebody to be a reporter. So, who's a recorder and a reporter?
Do you want to go around the circle and say my top 2 categories?
That's how it works out.
I think those two kind of go hand in hand.
So the news received from these problems, and not limited, commissioners received, commissioners so this is financial stability, but for some entities, that's just we're not a for-profit organization, but we're here to make sure that we're not. And so, this year, we have not had to dip into savings to make that is and so that's good, but at the same time,
I feel something, I'm hearing that, it's not kind of good on the inside. I mean, there's just things that are on there that we get to that point, but I'm not sure we have a space from an outside perspective.
So for me, fundraising is kind of something that needs attention.
As the service leaders, always repeating, we are establishing a spiritual growth. That is sometimes how you elevate your pitch. I feel like I can be in the community and say, "We're there for spiritual growth. You're a Christian, you're Muslim, you're Hindu, come on."
You've put a rating on almost everything, huh? Yeah. What are your what are your ends? Or what's good? Turn this off.
Same way with the green team, same way with the events, hot on dinner team, so that they know what's expected. Right now, management, you, as a part of the issues and ideas that have been tweaked off and on. So we need to address those so that we can be compliant. So that's those processes
So you mentioned,
Under that committee structure,
the downside,
jobs. All that. So that if someone signs a rose and says, I'm gonna do
needs attention.
What I was hearing was the openness, honesty, and compassion was clearly outlined. And I was also hearing there's a difference between our core values. Core values is what we, that's a key. It's like part of that mission that we're money on, and that contributes to particular objectives.
helping us. They help us with, all the numbers.
So that is,
For me, like, for example, like,
yeah,
I used to go in early to get metaphysical Bible study,
yeah.
and I really liked that.
Well, we have the mission and vision about being leaders, and then clarity of identity or
For me, a lot of that just gets tied in.
So,
And then this kind of have something where it can
yes, yes.
core values.
Yeah, but it's like, for me, it was, like, I liked it, and then I feel like before COVID, it was a lot more advertised, I guess I would say. It was like more, so maybe there's small groups still going on, but it's not necessarily like, hey, this is going on.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's who's in this group.
But then we have to use I was a scheduling of the building.
Part of it,
So, you know, under the program section, I feel like I was under we don't have a whole lot of these other things going on. You know, like, spiritualism, I think that is definitely an area that we have improved. Focused on.
Shadow can also sometimes be, we've got stated ways that we operate, and under the group. So the shadow is like the real, what is real,
Totally out.
the low down.
And I know that we would.
Sometimes that's difficult to do.
like maybe once a month or once a quarter or something like that, maybe you can go and visit all some of the groups and you can see like, hey, this is
Well, we don't seem to have the, if I did that, they will come. They will come.
Yeah, so, okay, so you got needs, attention,
And two, I need more services.
I completely disagree. You have the youth program together, or it's leaders are the people that are, yeah, there's stepping up and taking ownership of something and making sure that it exists.
In a way, it was just,
I thought of the annual meeting, where we have a slideshow that goes through the year of, so what is that now? Sometimes they're also then.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. think maybe kind of tweak that a little bit just before anything. Yeah. Have Phyllis play a song, you know, okay, wrap up, and
various forms, including the yeah, anything that is.
I think we could do more, but I think it's good. We got a solid base there, like, the video system and all that. Yeah, pretty good. I think we could finish it up a little bit. Yeah, I think that there's a good base.
I do have problems with the work.
Yeah.
I would really like to see
Building and ground, yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, that's true.
Having this roundabout there now, it really makes seeing a little more. It's lit up.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's got a lot more traffic.
That's true, but gives us visibility though. I mean, that's how I found the communities. I just drove by, and I drove by this church a lot, and it was like, I pulled up to that side, and I was like, we try it out. Yeah.
Anything else good provided, it is listed here.
He's taking care of it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think, you know, I don't know none of this, you know, background stuff, like you said, I think Roy's obviously doing a great job, you know, with it, and I never thought that, you know, we were, I honestly, I didn't know, like, with the attendance, I thought, this is just based on attendance. But obviously, it sounds like we're doing all right. What do I? Yeah.
Okay, take 5 more minutes to finish up. finish up in 1 minute.
Walk by the church and wonder what the heck it's all about. Programs and that's not real quick, but as a young father, I think youth education is that's what here. Part of that is you just don't have kids. You got my family and you know with my family, and we got kids. And we got them, we don't.
How about if we form a circle here? And hear what we've had to say. Yeah. We'll come a little closer. Jason? Jason, come on over here. Let's hear the good stuff. What's good? What can we build on? Who wants to start?
Would you like us to go through all of the categories and just
Well,
talk about our tops?
Let's just start with the good things. Let's
Okay.
go
yep.
with the goods, maybe the top 2 or 3 in each category.
Okay.
Okay.
So in consciousness and inspiration, we felt like openness and honesty with little gossip, that we're not a very cliquish community. So it's easy to kind of come in and assimilate. We felt that there's one that says mission, vision, core values. We kind of split that up. We felt the core values were a good, and then when we talk about the other stuff, we'll go into mission, vision.
That's helpful.
On the management side of things, the physicality of the space is good. So building grounds, and financial systems and budgeting. So we kind of put those together. On relationships, we felt that the Sunday fellowship, and so we kind of grouped some things together. We felt like communications were really strong. So Facebook website, newsletter, and the board membership communication. So we just kind of grouped those all together as communication.
Yep.
Felt that was really strong, and the Sunday fellowship is also strong. And then in programs, music was a clear good. And then we were split on a couple of things. Some of us felt like Sunday service was good, but also seeing the recent changes, it's making us see how there's room for improvement. And spiritual principles taught, we were also kind of split on that. We know them because they've been repeated, but maybe they're not taught, like the application of it is not quite there.
Okay, thank you. Tell me about Sunday fellowship was good. Because Sunday fellowship for me means food.
Oh. Uh, Do
So
you
you-
all want to say what it means to you?
Think of it as interacting with individuals,
Yeah, the
communication.
connections that you have with each
Connections.
other. Yeah, that's definitely a positive element here, you know. You know each other, you get along with each other, you know. It'll even be better when you know each other's names, when we have name tags. Okay, thank you. Pass that over. What's good here?
From the consciousness, we had a lot of, we kind of got caught on consciousness and inspiration, because without all the consciousness and without the inspiration, then we are not going to connect, because kind of everything, if we're creating energy and enthusiasm for the consciousness and that from that, the programming will come. From that, management will deal with the programming. And so we kind of got caught on kind of a conversation of, there's been some lacking in enthusiasm or perception of enthusiasm. And, I understand that. I think there's been on the leadership team a lot of pressure, and at the same time, without having, the congregation in the pews in front of us, which is where we feed from and get that enthusiasm, it kind of came to be an act of service, and we were grinding. And so I feel that is. And so I think the team is getting fresh energy because we are seeing good participation. Things are starting to happen. And so I feel that there is an absolute shift in process with that. And it's definitely because we are seeing more people come in and
Yeah.
butts and pews, as we like to say. And so
Yeah.
that
Can
has
I make a comment on that?
Yes.
Of all of these 4 areas, what drives everything is the consciousness and inspiration. That's what gets people to come together, connect with each other, form a community, decide to do something. And so management can't push it, it has to be the excitement. And that is present here. Just the number of people here, the percentage. I mean, this is half the people that come on Sunday. Okay? Your being here is a big G for that area. So, thank you. Go on.
Yeah, so that's kind of where there's some other good things that are happening. There's a lot of good things happening, I felt, with the management. There are things that we need to do, particularly in the area of committees and as I was saying to the group, in preparation for a new management, we want to have our committees clearly kind of so that everybody understands what their job is and responsibilities. And those are processes that, it's as Jill says, it's guide number 1, left brain, clarity, kind of management. And that's all. We have lots of people that can help that, and we're going to take care of those processes. But, from programming is going to come out of the enthusiasm of the people who are here, and what they're excited about and wanting to learn about is going to come forth, and that's where additional participation will come. And I think when people are here, people are connected. They're very open. That is just kind of the standard bearer of Unity. There's openness and acceptance and love, that it's right here. And I think that from most of the things, a lot of that is doing well. I think we're communicating well to our community through, Facebook and the newsletters and things like that. So there's a lot of things that is in place that's doing that. I think we just want to grow it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So So under consciousness, inspiration, kind of a theme here, you know, we really felt that our clarity of our identity and our mission, vision and core values, like we thought those two kind of went hand in hand and could use some work.
So he wants us to start with what's good.
Oh, what's good?
What's
yeah.
good?
Definitely our openness and a little gossip. There's still kind of a theme. Giving and generosity.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a good community. We felt like this is a good community and always step up, you know, when somebody needs some help, or felt really good about that. From a management standpoint, we thought that we have a beautiful building and grounds, and even you know, even a nice location here along the B line, and you know, with the roundabout there, we got a lot of good visibility with the traffic. So we thought that was really good. With relationships, we had talked about we talked about the Sunday fellowship. Yeah, that we kind of got stuck on. We spent a lot of time on consciousness and inspiration. So
Well, that's it's a big thing.
So yeah, we kind of tapered off there towards this.
Okay, so how about if you start now with what's needed? Where do we need attention? So you said mission, vision.
Yeah, mission, vision, core values, and clarity of identity. Felt that, you know, that we could use some work there. And then from a management standpoint, we talked about leadership, training, and recruiting. Kind of shows how we are, where we are right now with this. And we thought that for relationships, we thought that small groups could use some work, and in our social action as well, and neighborhood projects, we thought we could do more there.
Yeah.
You know, and then we didn't really even have time to get into programs, but there's a lot of opportunity there as well.
Okay, thank you. All right.
So you'll start to see some themes here. While we thought that core values was a strength, mission, vision, and clarity of identity were mushy. And we saw clarity of identity as the projection of that mission and vision into the larger community. On the relationships, anything that is social. So post-COVID, a lot of things are still, haven't really come back. So that's social, small groups, social action, neighborhood projects. Yeah. And then in management, the biggies, we've talked as a group about the bylaws needing to be up to date, so that's kind of a given. But leadership training and recruiting has relationship with the clear policies and procedures and strategic planning. So those were the biggies in there. And then in programs, youth education was a biggie.
What's that again?
Youth education.
Oh, youth ed, yeah.
And we had a pretty extensive discussion about online programming and its relationship to midweek service and serving our people who, for health reasons or because they live a distance away or for whatever reason, they are continuing to connect with us virtually.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing them in. I know I met Merity in the bathroom coming in tonight, And we were talking about how it's dark, it's cold, it's really hard to get out out of your rut, out of your routine at the end of the day. And so having a virtual book reading or book study or something could, I'd be happy to sit in my home office and connect with all of you and geek out about a book or some spiritual learning. So that's what we talked about.
I liked when we had congregational book studies, so everybody was on the same page, and then we kind of broke into different groups and discussed things on a smaller group, but I liked the whole, and then the service was largely talking about what we were studying too.
I just wanted to say those tended to be in the fall, and it was like a 4-week.
Speak up, Mary. Hold it
It-
closer.
It was in the fall, those congregational book studies, and we did break up into people's homes, which was building community.
Planning to do that in the late winter. Okay, probably right after, and probably start that in February. What do we need?
I think from our group, one of the things that really came out was just the importance of building inspiration and trying to figure out all these people that were so involved and have been involved with our community in the past, how come we haven't gotten them back now? Or how do we get them back in and bring their love, energy, and love offerings into the community? And, I'm curious, because I know that we've been reaching out to different folks that have been in our community, but I'm wondering if, I think some of them may still be sitting on the sidelines kind of with the wait and see attitude, and which is fine, but man, we'd love to have that input, and I'm not sure how we're gonna get them in, and that's definitely something that we need to try to figure out, because I can probably, all of us can list easily 5 or 6 people that have been very involved in some way or other in the past and are just not here, and I don't know that they've gone somewhere else. So, anyway, so for me, that's an area that, and I think the need is to somehow kind of rekindle the enthusiasm, the inspiration aspect, and build those connections again. Because I think if we're getting more people, then more people are going to be here because they're going to want to see all those other wonderful people that they haven't been seeing, and kind of reform those connections. And
Can I comment on that? COVID did that. People got used to getting their inspiration online and not having to get up and get dressed and go out into the cold or whatever. And so the question is that we were talking about the last 2 weeks is, how do you get people to come back here in person? What's the advantage of coming in person? We said relationships and inspiration. Okay? And that's contagious. It is. So if we're doing it here, it creates an energy that pulls people in. Good. Go on. What else is good?
I still think, though, that things have changed. So now that we're reinventing what we're going to do moving forward, we need to incorporate some of those virtual ways of doing things, because for some people, they're not going to come back, but they would still like to have some participation. For instance, a book study on Zoom is perfect, a discussion, or even a meditation, a guided meditation, once a week on Zoom. That way, we don't have to get dressed up and come in and drive, here in the cold, but we can still connect, in the way that Unity connects to people. So.
Okay.
And, you know, to have a little reverse side of that about the Zoom, I just find when we do things in Zoom, we do that occasionally. I think it lacks the presence of being with people. I mean, you are online, you know, you're on your tablet, you're on your laptop, but to me, it's not anywhere near the same thing as having us here. And then the other thing I was going to say, where you were starting to talk, Nat, was about the drawing the community back in after COVID, and that's what we're all trying to do. We all feel that way. But you, this last week, Sunday service, I think it's the first time I've heard you touch on that, and you talked to the people that were out on Zoom and what they were missing by not being here. And you know, from your spot, you have that ability to reach out and touch those people, and I think that was very good. And we need some more of that, I believe.
Okay, yeah, we can do a lot to attract people. And as you said, a lot of the people are not going to come back in person. They will look for other inspirational things online. And like you said, what can Unity of Bloomington do online to create inspiration, to have our spiritual community transcend this building?
I want to address that, the identity, because I really feel in terms of consciousness, the way that churches stand out either by their name or they have a cross if they're Christian, and then you know what it is, and you can kind of label that, whatever. Unity, you have their logo out there, and it says Unity, and really, unless you look it up, you probably don't know what it means. And so I think, being a visual artist, I really feel like we need something that inspires people to ask the question, what is this place about? What goes on there? And that's all you can do. I mean, as an illustrator, I had fun doing that.
Okay, I'm going to pass around a logo that Unity of Fort Worth put together. So you might have seen a cross with the Unity wings on it, and then they put symbols for other world religions around it.
Yeah, those are signs that people can recognize.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real attention getter.
That's pretty. Before going away from that topic of the virtual and people who are not going to come back, I want to encourage us to not think of it as either or. We've invested in some great technology to help us augment our Sunday services, and we can have both in-person and virtual book clubs, and we can have in-person and virtual meditations.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that is that, because I had the exact kind of opposite feeling about the virtual clubs and things like that. Like I quit. I was doing the metaphysical Bible study when it was in person, then when we went virtual, this is not for me. So I feel like definitely there's a different level of energy that I get from, that connection, that interpersonal connection that I get from, being in the same room as people and feeling their energy and that, that exchange that is totally different than what I get online. And also for me, it's really difficult because I try and watch, Sunday service whenever I'm not able to make it. And, I got 2 young kids at home, so it's hard. It's hard for me to keep focused on that. So I got to get out of the house. I got to be here to really get that same feeling. I mean, and it's, I'm joking, but it's very serious for me is that, I need that to have that. And I assume there's other folks that are like that as well.
Yeah, so for me, it's easy for me to say, I'm just going to focus on what's in here. But really, the community you need both. And you probably need, and it's got to probably be more than just streaming the Sunday service. Okay? Seb's recording this. It gets posted on on the website, I guess. Some people have looked at it, okay, and participated that way. When COVID struck and and I was at the Unity Church in Rochester, New York. I was there for 3 weeks, and all of a sudden, everything shut down. So every morning, I did a daily word meditation online, and did a virtual Sunday service. We had a few people that would come, but I did a Sunday service, and we streamed it, recorded it, but a daily word video, I thought it was kind of effective. You know, there were quite a few people that tuned into it. So that's an example of something that could be done virtually, as well as a discussion group. So if we have an in-home study group, there could be an online study group. So.
Yeah, I think also with, just to kind of touch base off of that, is that, you know, I've noticed that a lot of folks that are my age and younger is that they have a lot of short attention spans. So they do a lot of, you know, TikToks, and they do a lot of reels, short
Yeah.
clips, a couple minutes, you know.
Yep.
But you are consistent with that content every day. You know, that's the kind of thing that is going to, you know, get people to interact, to get people to say, hey, this is interesting. These folks are saying a lot of things that I'm interested in.
So what kind of 2-minute video could we make right here that could get people's attention? We need to think about that, because you know.
Okay, I want to blow this up.
All right, we're ready.
It's who I am, it's what I do. I've been coming to this place since 2000. I love Unity. I don't come. I haven't come for years. Why don't I come? The most important thing I think anybody said was the very first thing you said, Evdo. Why don't we come? I asked him first, how many of us are there on the roster? 150. How many people come? Even before COVID, 40, 50.
Yeah.
That's not us. That is a clique of us. This clique has won Unity. What about the rest of us? What about the other 100? Why aren't we here? I come for one reason, because I want to know your soul. I want to know who you are. I want to connect to you. I want to know what your purpose in life is.
But not,
I want to know
not
how
just
I
me,
support.
but them too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
I want to know why I care about you, how I connect you. I want to know you. We've had conflict in the past. I want to heal that conflict. You, I just adore you. I know you forever. I don't know you. Each one of you, some of you I don't have a story with, but we've been doing this for 20 years. We've come around 4 times to find leadership here, and we have sustained to this point. Reach out to everybody. Pound those lists. Get everybody back in communication. It's going to boil down to this one thing, consciousness and inspiration. I will come. I don't care what programming you run. I don't care about I care about the relationships, because that's going to grow. What I care about is you. I don't know you. I just met you. I don't know you. Oh my God, I find my Jack. I love that. I'm a Jill. Who are you people? That's what's going to draw us back. This is a new time. We can blame it on COVID. That was like a little bitty blip in Unity's history here. Reach out to everybody. Get the voices back. Get the people back. You know, we're shifting from a patriarch to the Sophia century. Bring back the love. That's what unity is. It is the feminine and the masculine. It's the wings. It's the resurrection, not the crucifixion. That's what is different about this is any other church I have a choice of. Unity. Hallelujah. go back and figure out who are we and what do we really want.
Yep, amen, sister.
Please don't put the onus on me to get you here. Come here and be in relationship with me.
Yes. Make it a place I want to come to.
Okay.
Make this a place,
All right.
and that's going to go
Why-
back to
What got you here tonight?
what brought him and her and beer.
All right.
We went out for dinner and I had a beer, and it's like, Unity, you really want me to go back to Unity? And it's like, yeah, come in and listen. And it's like, you know me.
All right.
So that's why I'm here. Will I come back again? Depends on what we grow.
Well,
You know, we shifted from,
But you can be a part of that.
I can.
Bring that.
Honey, I bring that to the whole damn world. I don't want to bring it just to my Unity. I want to be a part of Unity. I want it to explode again. I want the energy again.
well,
I can bring my energy. I don't have any problem with that. I'll get up and I'll preach for you. Sorry, I do this. You know, but the point of the matter is, where are we all?
yep.
Where are we? And I don't know where we are. And you don't even know who we are. I'm sorry. Please.
Boy, that energy
Go
feels,
straight to her.
that energy feels good. All right. Here's another laid-back person.
So just a little bit about that. I'm here because I want there to be a healthy unity. That's why I offered to head up the transition, whatever I am, leader, coordinator, whatever. That's why I'm here. And this is why I put in all the effort that I did, because I wanted people to bring what they needed to bring. I don't know why we have conflict. I don't remember having conflict with you. I think you're wonderful. So I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm really open, but it's from the past.
Yeah.
And so that's the shadow stuff that we need to not be afraid of, and not stuff, avoid, deny, and dismiss all the years, and then have that keep people away.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about everything and all of it, and it's just good. Thank you.
Amen. Woo. That feels good, doesn't it? Okay, that's life energy. That's
ship
relational
knows how to be
energy.
healthy. This ship knows how to be healthy. This ship has been healthy.
Being healthy is inherent in every one of us and in every organization.
No,
It's already there. We don't
No,
have,
it is not. Well, yes, I will give you that much.
It's there.
As long as there's balance between the spirit and the management. And if the management is just dictating, it squashes the life out of the enthusiasm.
whenever a management is in charge of a church, it's on its deathbed.
Well, I've been here for 20 years, and for me,
And
a
you-
membership of 20 people to me feels like a deathbed.
This church was dying.
Exactly.
Okay? It was on the decline.
Exactly.
And so, for a number of reasons. But there's a core group here. I think it's more than a clique. It's a core group of committed people that can establish an energy that can bring in more than 40 people on Sunday. You know, I was looking at attendance before COVID, and it was like 40, 45, maybe 50. It's like, well, let's call that a family church. Okay? And you have a facility that could handle a church of 200.
Yep.
Okay? And you would need a lot of supportive programs, but that's certainly a possibility here. So.
But we have to have the mind. Remember now, we have to have the mindset of empowerment rather than victim.
Yep. What? Turn it on.
Did you turn it off on me?
I think
So the way we minister to each other is how we see each other as empowered. And our expectation is that you're going to do your thing, and I'm going to support you in doing your thing. Not, oh, you poor thing. You're laughing at me.
No.
But we have had an approach where there's been a victim mentality, and it's an energy that needs to be shifted within people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for me, like, it's just, and I think we hit on it. I think he said something a couple weeks ago, but it just has felt very passive to me for a long time instead of an active energy that would draw people in. To me, it's like, yeah, Unity folks, they're notorious for it. It's like, well, I got my stuff figured out, so you guys are on your own, And instead, I know for a fact that there's a lot of folks, especially in my age, that could really benefit from, this type of message and have been turned off big time by, the traditional Christian faith bases.
Mm-hmm.
And, here we are with an opportunity to present this message that would resonate with a lot of folks. I know for a fact that there's a spiritual void in a lot of people that are my age, but they're so turned off by the thought of a church. And, how do we reframe this? How do we do a pattern interrupt in these people's lives so that they see that this is an exciting place, an enthusiastic place that you can come and empower and like-minded individuals and a loving, open community that is accepting and that is, moving us into the next generation, of a new thought and unity, way of thinking of just. I think that we have a great opportunity, we have a great message, but we're just not sharing it all that well. And how do we get to that point?
They've always, for the longest time, they said unity's the best kept secret around. Okay, it's always been the struggle. Well, traditional church attendance is going way down. And alternative spiritualities are more interesting. And so there are more people that are interested in what we have to offer. And so we have a product that is fabulous, that is relevant, that could really make a difference in people's lives. So we need to practice it and share it and present it. Okay, let me summarize. Okay, what I got is mission vision. We need to be clear about who we are and what we're here for and what we do. When what we see the results of what we do. Okay, there's a real spirit of openness and honesty and good connections that's here. Your building and grounds are both. The building is fabulous, but it needs stuff. The ground, your location is great, but look at the weeds next to the walk out front, okay? And the lack of, so, it's both. I'm going to be doing small groups. We'll do one in the late winter, and maybe another one, depends. But I'll set up the system so it could continue. Okay? I will not do anything. I won't start anything here that's dependent upon me, because I'm leaving. I'll be here for 6 months or so, but so my job is to set something up that will continue without me when you bring in new ministers here. So there will be small groups. I've been a little obsessed with fellowship. We had a long discussion last night at the board meeting about it, about space and everything, and it's like, Okay, so there's a nice interaction that people have here during before and after the service, but you need more, okay? So you need food, or at least cookies, okay? You know, something, okay? Because people will stay and talk to each other, then make the connection, get to know each other, okay? So small groups, classes, workshops, home study groups.
I think we have had some other good stuff in the past that were more community
Yep.
oriented. Can't people hear me?
Well, it's for the report, we're streaming this all.
Anyway, I think we have had some good things in the past, but I also would like to see some, obviously, for the future. We had a Friday night song circle here that was for Bloomington. It wasn't just a Unity song circle, it was a Bloomington song circle. There were a couple of different couples that came to church here out of that song circle, but they're not here anymore. So I think it's time to get some of those things back on the road. Like,
Yep.
I'm not into the Curtan stuff so much, but some people are. And I looked at you. And
If you have more people attending, there you have more people to step up and say, I'll host a small group at my house, or I'll help organize a monthly dinner circle, or, you know, so you will never find a minister that'll do everything that needs to be done. It's impossible. Nobody can do it. Or nobody can do it well enough either, because there's always going to be criticism of it. Okay? And so the community needs to provide leadership for different events, different programs. So let me know what you're interested in, what you're willing to do.
I have a question. I saw in the newsletter that a Course in Miracles group is coming and will be announced soon. There is a group on Wednesday nights, and only 2 regular congregants attend that group on a regular basis. It's a Bloomington group, not a Unity of Bloomington group.
Yep.
And so I was curious about the genesis of that, and
It's Karen and Wendy.
okay.
They want to start it, and they're thinking of doing it on the off Wednesdays from the current group.
Okay.
Or, so they're still working on what night they want to do it, so
Yeah.
but
So I did call Martha Fitzgerald, a part of that group, and asked her if she would be interested in coming back in.
Yeah, I'm expecting an email from her when she sees it in the newsletter.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it to her when we had a conversation.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so I wanted to tie that so that she didn't feel like we're just going off and doing something without her.
Nice.
Yeah, so, but,
That was my concern.
yeah, but she felt her group members, and they didn't really want to go off of Zoom. They like Zoom. It's convenient.
And that's an example. There will be Zoom groups that like it. And we shouldn't dismiss them. Okay? Even if we don't like to participate in them. Sean.
One quick comment about starting new groups. I've seen a paralysis happen in a conversation because not everybody can come on Wednesday night. We've got to come up with some night and some time that everybody can come. And we've got to get away from that thinking and think, we'll set up a Wednesday night group for people who are available on Wednesdays. We'll set up a Thursday night group for people who are available on Thursdays. And maybe have some way to tie those all together, but not try to make everything we do available to everybody.
Exactly. And so this is what I tell people that are willing to do something. It's like, make it work for you, and then you'll attract the people that need. Don't worry about trying to accommodate everybody. Know what works for you, and then that you'll draw what's right for you.
I knew I'd probably talk tonight. We haven't talked a lot about management on here. And a lot of the things on management start with the clear policies, a clear understanding of policies and procedures, which a lot of us don't have. I'll say I don't have. Leadership training and recruitment. Well, what does someone mean by that? What are we going to be trained in? I'm a board member. I am vice president of the board. And I do not know what would happen if the president of the board were to be indisposed and I had to take over. I wouldn't know how to do that. And I've been on the board for 3 years. That's a serious thing because we're going to have elections coming up. We have to prepare the people that are running for the board and give them a good understanding of what is going to be expected from them when they are on the board. Yeah. I think that's really important, and that's coming up right in January. So it gives you something to think about. I also think that accountabilities and job descriptions, I don't know if we have those or if they're anywhere available or who's accountable for what. I mean, I consider myself a newbie. I came here because, well, everybody knows, Debbie and Glenn. Debbie was my girlfriend's, Pat Wilson's sister. And that's how I met Jill. And that's how I met a lot of people. But I wanted what Debbie had. She had unity stamped in her eyes. I mean, she just had such a spirit. And that's why I came here. And I don't see a lot of people like that. I don't know if it's because you're burnt out or because you're not as enthusiastic as you used to be or what, but I want to see that back. As a new member, I am very glad that I came here after coming from the Catholic religion all my life. I thought I knew every priest in the area that I grew up in. But
Yeah.
anyways, I found what I needed here, and I want to offer that to other people. So there's so many different things that we have to do, but I think we have to take it in steps, and I don't know how we're going to manage all that.
So people that do research for churches say that 80% of the people that go to churches pass through. They come and go. Only 20% stay. So if you can raise that up to 25%, that makes a significant difference in the community. Okay? So, and you know, I've said that here before, that for the most part, the people that are coming here now are the ones that are really committed. Okay? And then you can build a larger community on that. So, you talked about the board, Patty. This is what, I mean, we're calling this a transition team. I could call it a leadership council that does pretty much what the board does except making decisions. Okay? So the board does not run the church. It sets the direction. Okay, and lets the staff and other leadership run things. So think about serving on the board. A number of you have, a number of you are. Okay, so it's a it's rewarding. It's not easy because it takes, you know, it's a commitment of time. Okay? And the last 3 weeks have been a commitment of time here. I'm happy that you've done that. Have a workshop scheduled for creating a mission and vision on January 15th, after church on Sunday, for about an hour and a half after a snack. Okay? And maybe that'll run till the next Sunday. Okay? And so we'll continue doing things like this. The next thing like this that's scheduled is the Mission Vision on January 15th and maybe the 22nd. And then there's the annual meeting on February 5th.
And we're having a spiritual baptism.
We're having a spiritual baptism of new members. I think so far we have 3, which is 10% of the attendance, you know? Okay, which is good, you know? So, thank you for being part of this. This is really heartening for me, okay? And it's a really nice, hopeful energy. So we will build from here.
I want to thank you for your insight, your perspective, having the experience of seeing other unities and new thought places. I think that really helps. I know that can really help us get out of the ruts that we've created. I don't mean that the rut in itself is a bad thing, but it kind of needs an awakening. So
Good, thank you, Joe. I was on a conference call with other transitional ministers the other day, and we were talking about what should we do, what kind of training do we want, what do we want to look at in the coming year, and virtually all of the training that the transitional ministers in Unity have is like board training, maybe mission and vision. Maybe a little bit of mediation, not much. And so I said, everything that we've been trained to do here is focused on management. I said, what the churches need that we go into is they need some energy. They need a vision. They need some excitement to get people in there. I said, you don't need management if you don't have people in the church. I don't know if they heard me. But I'm going to keep at it. And so that's the way I'm approaching this. So, okay, I'll do board training, but I'm more interested in building up energy in programs and relationships and the consciousness. So, and then we'll get into situations like, oh, God, we need to manage this, and we better write a policy or procedure about this, or a job description. But, you know, for me, that's down the road. That's... We'll do that whenever we have problems to solve.
yes.
Okay? Okay. Amen.